welcome back to Sister Sound Off. I'm Carrie,
I'm Elle.
and I wanted to wish Elle a belated happy birthday. Her birthday was last month, and she turned the big 40.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about 40?
I feel like I'm definitely starting a new chapter. There is a new mindset that came along with 40. Kind of surprised me, actually. I've typically been the nice one, the peacemaker, my mother would say.
Yes, she would definitely say that. You're the peacemaker in the family.
Something about 40 has changed, and without saying an expletive like F it 40, like I'm kind of tired of being the nice one, and I've declared to my family the other day, I am no longer the nice one in this family. You be the nice one. Y'all be the nice ones. I'm done with it. And it's a little bit freeing.
Yeah.
And free at 40. It's like, it's little things. Like at first it started with, okay, this is so silly, but like at a stoplight or at a thing, I would feel the pressure of the person behind me and be so aware of like, oh, I should go. No, you know what? I'm going to go when I'm ready and I feel safe to go.
Right.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. I think that's part of it.
Yeah. Meaning like if you don't go like right when it turns
or maybe not like a stoplight, but maybe
or stop
more
sign.
like a protected yellow.
Oh,
I
right.
would say something
Gotcha.
more like that.
Okay. I was like,
they might be thinking, well, you had plenty of room.
Sure. Like you could have gone.
And then I'm like making up these stories that aren't true. But
yeah.
I think it's my own, there's some kind of shift happening in my brain where I'm like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to care about everyone's feelings and what they may or may not be thinking about me.
Right.
It's a little bit more of a selfish mindset, but in a healthy way.
So do you think you're kind of coming into your like self-care era? Like you just need to take care of yourself a little bit and mentally, physically, however that shows up?
Well, that's a nice way to say it. I like that.
Instead of being like I'm the mean one now.
Yeah,
you're the Grinch of the family now.
I might have gone a little over the line with that. You should have seen their faces. Woo, they look shocked.
They don't appreciate. I mean, I love your family, but I do think sometimes they don't appreciate how nice you are. Mm-hmm. And you are you're so calm and sweet, and you always try to like make them feel so loved. All good things. None of that is a negative. But I think there's a point sometimes when people, just everybody, our families and friends and whoever, like need to realize that like you mean business. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes because you are so nice, and even when you do mean business, you still have a lot of niceness to you that I don't know. Yep. Do you think maybe they don't take it as seriously, or
I think you're
they
right.
still push it a little? I mean, you have little boys, so they're always going to push it, but they push it a little bit more, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think yes, my kindness may be being taken advantage of. Yeah, and I've heard this from other friends, and it's been building. It's not just a complete shift, but I think at some point when I made this transition to 40, I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to embrace this, that my kindness doesn't have to be taken advantage of. I can give what I want to give freely, and I am not obligated. There's a word. I'm not obligated to do these things and go above and beyond all the time, especially when it's not appreciated.
Yes.
And I don't know, I've heard this too, like when I had my second kid, it was like, oh, they kind of members of the family fit into, like, they'll fill the void. That's what it was.
Right.
They'll fill the void. So I'm like, well, by me being the super nice one, are they filling a void where then they're creating more, fights and
tension, drama.
So when I said that,
mischievousness.
Yes, right? Because they're just like, maybe the house needs some of that, and they're just it's not conscious.
I think that definitely happens. They say that. I mean, that birth order is the thing, but also like where your parents are, how your parents are, will affect that as well. So
I thought, well, maybe it's not only for my benefit, but it's for my family's benefit too. And
maybe.
The other day I didn't care. I was like, I can be your enemy. At least then y'all aren't fighting with each other.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be mad at me than fight with each other. Drive me crazy.
Did they say anything?
Oh, their eyes were so big. Mom, like, I got a random, like, awkward hug later. Like, they did not know what to do.
That's good, though. I think that's good because they're taking it seriously. You know, mommy really does need, like, something different from us.
Yeah. Like,
and things might not be good if we don't help her.
They need to they need to watch their behavior, and I need to have real consequences. And like you said, let them know I mean business and not just give in or,
right.
Oh, it's the peacemaker. Oh, well, they're sad, or kind of even making excuses for them even. I mean, it's not all about my family, but it's just, and friends too. And I don't know. It's.
Yeah. Oh, you do have at least a couple friends who I think take advantage of your niceness that really do. I mean, you say they give back, in other ways and things like that, but I feel like there is definitely some advantage taking on their part.
And I think that's me making excuses too.
Them.
Am I really getting stuff back, or am I just trying to be like, well, this little drop in my cup is enough? Maybe it's not enough.
No, it's not.
Like I'm pouring and I'm getting drops back. And then what's worse is getting like guilt trips when I don't do that.
I just don't think it's a good friend. Yeah. I mean, that's setting boundaries. And I think that's a lot of what you're doing now too, is you're figuring out your own boundaries and you're starting to set them, and it's going to be uncomfortable for people for a while. It's going to be uncomfortable for your family and for your friends. And then if they're real friends for them, they'll respect them and still be your friend. If they're not real friends and the changes you make do not sit well with them, then they're not your real friend. And I think it's good for you to test that.
Yeah, I agree. I think real friends would applaud this and,
That's right.
and high five me and, be happy that I'm setting those boundaries, not that upset or, making me feel, kind of like their free ride is over.
It is.
I don't know. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Is my free labor like not coming fast enough for you? Or that's kind of how I feel. And it's a gratefulness too. And I used to do event planning, and I felt this too, where one, I didn't charge what I should have charged to make it worth my while. But then when it was just invisible or there was no appreciation, I would spiral. And I had to stop that. Like, I couldn't continue that path. And so it has been building.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. You used to do the event planning things, and
it would affect my mood for like a month or two after an event that I felt just unappreciated.
Well, and that's the thing. If you charge enough, you can deal with unappreciation. But if you don't charge enough, then you need the appreciation too.
Again, it's a little drop in the bucket wasn't enough for the amount of energy expelled to create this magical event for events, for my family, for friends, for And I'm also not responsible for solving people's problems.
No. And that's not good to do. You're taking away from them if you try to solve their problems all the time. They're not growing. They're not learning. It's actually, you're hurting them if you try to solve people's problems all the time.
You're so right. And I'm coming to realize that. Yep, that I'm not doing them any favors.
I
am. I'm stunting their growth. And not empowered. I mean, they're not being empowered to take control of their own life.
That's right.
It's not good to
learn that they can get themselves out of that pickle or whatever they're in. Yeah,
exactly.
We have an aunt that I feel like you take after in a lot of ways, and she's very sweet and selfless, and everybody loves her. But I think that she probably has been taken advantage of over the years as well. So
and it's not good for our health either.
No.
We did a podcast about that as well. It's like just me, and I found myself not speaking my mind, or if I am, certain people in my life aren't listening.
Yeah.
And then I just swallow it and I just say, okay, well, I'll just listen to you. But then I don't have to do that anymore.
No.
I don't have to do that.
It's going to be
anymore.
some growing pains on your part too, to like, there's a lot of mental work going on in that, like where you're like, well, I want to say this thing. And then your reaction would be, okay, I'm just going to listen. And then you have to think, no, I'm going to have to do this. And then you're going to have to think of what to say and then actually say it. So it's going to be growing pains on your part too. But I think your gumption for it is going to see you through. It's like that, you know, that SNL where like, I'm 50. You're going to be like, I'm 40. And you could just like... not care anymore and know that this is how you are going to be moving forward.
That's right. Yeah, I think I've given myself permission to speak my mind. And you're right. I'm going to have to be brave but firm in my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll give you permission to let me know if I've got completely off the rails. I feel like
there's no way you're going to be. I'm already well past this one, so like it'll take you a long time to catch up to me, so I don't think I'll ever think that of you, because you're still always going to be sweet and kind and you care about people, and so whatever boundaries that you're going to set it's not ever going to come across as mean.
They're acceptable.
Yeah,
acceptable.
Always.
It's not, there will never be maliciousness.
No,
I should remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It's my own personal health and, you know, mental health, setting these boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and sticking to them.
Yeah. Good. Well, here's to the next 40 years. Hope it all goes well. I think it will.
Yes.
I think it's a good shift for you. So
Thanks.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you next time at Sisters Sound Off.
Bye.
Bye.